If you like this video, why not subscribe?
Good morning, everyone. It's time again for the weekly recap Q&A show. That's the show where I sit in my car and I talk about comments and emails from last week, as well as share with you all the links that accumulated on Facebook and Twitter. That's down below in the description. So if you're not interested in anything I have to say, I completely understand, and all the links are down below for you to enjoy. If you're wondering why I'm in my car, which people ask me every week, and I try to explain, is that because it's a portable sound booth. It sounds pretty good. I'm using a Sanyo Exacti VPC CG10 camera, and it doesn't have a mic input, but it has onboard mics, and being in a car is a great portable acoustical environment for recording sound. It's a portable sound booth, essentially. Makes the mics on my camera sound pretty good. In fact, the very beginning when I started doing this show, I actually used a camera with a mic input and a lav mic, and it didn't sound necessarily any better than what you're hearing now, which is amazing. So that's why I'm doing the show in my car. It's portable. I've only got about a 2-hour window from when I press record to when the show hits the internet, and this is the most efficient, quick way for me to do it, because I can do it anywhere. I don't have a studio, as many of you know. I've got a studio on wheels, or I'm in my kitchen. So since I can't do the show in my kitchen, I'm doing it here in my car. All right. So last week we talked about screenwriting tips was the question, and if you're wondering what people thought and input they gave, check the comments from last week. Lots of good input as usual, although not as much as there typically is. So maybe not many people are writing scripts. I don't know. This week, or actually the show last week, was a tip episode about extension cords and how to coil them, and I shared a very common technique found on any television or film set on how you coil cables so that when you uncoil them, they don't get tangled easily, which if you don't know this technique, it's super simple, but it's also really, really helpful, because if you ever had that experience where you threw a coil, a cable on the floor and then grabbed one end and tried to run off with it and it turned into a bunch of knots, this technique will help you avoid that. So check that out if you don't know what I'm talking about. But thanks for all the great comments, and people gave alternative ways to coil or said they were going to give me some. But that's a really common way, and like I said, anytime you go on a film set or a TV set, that technique will be employed. This week, actually, well, you can see what the question is. We're going to talk about it in a minute, because it's actually in response to a question that someone is asking. But first, we're going to talk about a comment that was given by Tech Smoothie, who commented on the tip episode I just talked about, the extension cords and how to coil them episode. And they ask, any tips for storing light bulbs? I bought 8 CFLs shrink wrapped and want an easy way to store and transport them, but not in the shrink wrap. Any ideas? Well, Tech Smoothie, usually the way I transport light bulbs, whether they're incandescent bulbs or CFLs, is I get Tupperware containers, and Tupperware is a brand name, but it's basically it's the plastic containers that you would store food in their fridge. You want to save the leftovers, so you have the plastic containers with the lids that you press on until the air escapes and they snap shut. To avoid expensive brands, you can always go to Dollar Tree or a dollar store, Walmart, Target, whatever, and find a cheap knockoff Tupperware brand or non-brand. You can just put your bulbs in, and what I would do, or what I typically do, is I invert them in the what do you call that thing? Bowl, package, container, let's say that. You invert them so you have the glass on one end, and then the one next to it has the threads on the other. The glass isn't next to each other, you know, they're inverted. And you put them in that case and then seal it shut, and I've had pretty good luck doing that. You don't really even need necessarily any padding in there, as long as they're kind of snug. And then I just put that in my light kit. So that's what I do, Tech Smoothie. That's how I transport my bulbs. 45067 Daddy Mac asked about the screenwriting, the recap Q&A screenwriting tips episode from last week, and says, you seem to have indigestion in this episode. Something not agree with you? Yeah, I just, actually before that episode, right before I hit record, I sucked on a lemon, and it just put me in a bad mood. It's just one of those things where I want to do this show every week, but sometimes, you're just not ready to go on camera. But you go on anyway, because you don't want to, not have a show, because it's important to keep the show going. So that's probably what it was. I can't even recall why. So if I appeared to have indigestion, maybe I did. And I didn't have any Pepto available. I don't know. Show must go on, right? Okay, thanks 45067 Daddy Mac for that question. Deucin26 commented on the tripod dolly episode, asking, couldn't you just buy some replacement skate wheels instead of buying the whole skate? And he's referring, or he or she is referring to the tripod dolly episode where, in order to get the skate wheels to make the dolly, I actually bought skates from Walmart and pulled the wheels off of them. And they're basically asking, well, why didn't I just get the skate wheels? Well, the reason I didn't just get the skate wheels was because that was the absolute cheapest price I could find for skate wheels. I think the skates were $15 or something. And if you try and find skate wheels with bearings, even cheap ones, you're spending at least $20. So I went with the cheap ones, and they were cheap. They weren't the best bearings or skate wheels, but they worked, and that's why I picked them. I was just trying to be as frugal as possible in that scenario. But yeah, you can get any skate wheels you want. You can get rollerblade wheels, whatever works. You have used ones laying around, try that. I actually wanted to get something new. I think I mentioned this in the episode, because when you get used wheels, they tend to have, they've been worn already, and so sometimes they have bumps in the wheels. They're not the smoothest experience. And for a dolly, I want it to be as smooth as possible. So that's why I went that route. LO2 for Jesus made a comment on the dimmer switch for $7.25 episode. I think that's the first episode of the Frugal Filmmaker shows. Trick question. I've tried this with the slider type dimmers and got all kinds of buzz in my audio. They cost me lots more to build too. Do these round ones cause any buzz in the audio? I didn't really test this, but it really doesn't matter because you're going to get buzz in your audio if you're plugged into the wall. Typically, and of course the only reason you would get buzz in your audio is if your camera is plugged into the wall and you are running your microphone into the camera instead of a separate double system source like a portable recorder that you sync later in post. So you're trying to get everything in camera, and your camera is plugged into the wall. There's a really good chance you're going to get AC line noise or that buzzing, especially if the power you are plugged into is an older building or something that's just not as well built, not built to code or whatever. So you might get line noise, you might not. However, as a general rule of thumb, I always run my camera in scenarios like that off of batteries. That'll eliminate the buzz because you're not plugging into the buzzy source, i.e. the wall. So always run your camera off batteries if possible. And again, you can go a more expensive route, which I believe they're called an AC line conditioner, which will remove that. You're basically putting that in between the wall and your camera or your audio source if you're recording. But you just don't want to use AC power. You want to use batteries in almost every scenario. It just eliminates that problem entirely. If you're getting buzzy sound, try unplugging your camera from the wall and running out batteries, and I'm almost 100% sure that the buzzing will go away unless you've got a ground loop problem anyway. But that typically will take care of it. It's a cheap way of taking care of it. You should already have batteries for your camera, so use them. Try that. Tell me what happens. Comment below. The Leeds Appreciation commented on the camera stabilizer rig for under $5 episode. He says, this was supposed to be about a camera stabilizer, but all I saw before I gave up was a bloody, annoying advert. Has YouTube been hacked or something? Okay, well, I have a confession to make here, the Leeds Appreciation. And that is that on older episodes of The Frugal Filmmaker and older episodes of my channel that have exceeded 100,000 views, I've actually turned on more advertising. The idea being that I'm doing this whole enterprise to try and make it self-sufficient. And one way I can do that is to kind of up the advertising on the older videos that a lot of people are watching. So I did that with that video. That's actually the most popular video I've ever made. I think it's approaching 300,000 views now, which isn't viral or anything, but I know people like it. So I'm just trying to help support the whole enterprise without begging for money. So that's one way I can do it. And I'm sorry if people find that offensive. Maybe I should not do that. I mean, does that bother you? Are you the only person that bothers? Because I mean, typically on a new video, I'll put there'll be an advertisement on it, but I'll allow the skip ad button, which is nice after 4 seconds, because that helps with the Google AdSense stuff. So anyway, so yeah, let me know. Like I said, that's only on videos that have over 100,000 views that I've enabled that on. All the other ones will have the skip ad button after 4 seconds. So sorry if that was offensive. No, YouTube's not been hacked. They're just a big corporation that I'm trying to make a little money off of. Electric Eye Films sent me an email saying, "We are making a film which is set in city parks after dark. We will have no access to AC power, so we wonder what your recommendation is regarding battery-powered lights. The lighting is supposed to look like natural full moon light, and we are shooting on HD video." Thanks, DB. Well, DB, this is what is generating the question you can see above this week is what kind of battery-powered lighting are people using? In your situation, I mean, there's a couple things you can do. Obviously, you can go, the most expensive route is to, rent or buy a generator, and then you can just plug your lights into that. But generators are noisy, and they're not the most frugal way to go. If that were me, what I would do is I would use LED lighting. And I'm not talking about the huge ones, the ones that are like, this big, that are really bright. I'm talking about the inexpensive ones. Actually, those aren't bad. Those are about $30. But the inexpensive ones are like the LED puck lights you can get at a dollar store. I used them recently in my shot list episode. They're $1. They run on 3 AAA batteries, and they're pretty bright. The nice thing about those also is that they always have a blue cast, and I don't know if it's because they're just cheaper. Well, and there's no, like the more expensive ones, like the $30 ones that you can find on eBay or Amazon, they'll have little filters you can put in to change the color temperature. But the ones you buy for cheap are all blue, which, what do you know, it looks like moonlight, or movie dark. And you can use those, and if they are too harsh, because they can be pretty bright, you can always move them away from your talent, put them on top of a light stand. You could diffuse them either with some kind of a frost, wax paper, or you can take the little lens out of them and sand it down so that it's a more translucent surface for the light to pass through. But that's what I would do. Those are cheap, and 3 AAA batteries will probably last 4 or 5 hours running those lights. And they're really small, so you can place them in all different places. Obviously, if you're simulating moonlight, you're going to want them up in the air, pointing down, which and put them on top of a light stand. Maybe that's a future episode: how to put those lights on a light stand, on the PVC light stand or regular light stand. I don't know, but that's what I would do. That's a pretty affordable way of doing it. Or you could also use, if you recall, the gooseneck lights, the USB gooseneck lights that would go into like a computer, so you could see the keyboard. But they're one bright LED light. Those are also in the shot list episode I did in the kitchen. I'm really trying to figure out different ways of using those, because I think they're really cool and inexpensive. They're $1 also at Dollar Tree or other dollar stores. So that's what I would do. Check those out. Check out that episode. I'll leave should be an annotation throughout me talking about that, where that episode is, the shot list episode. So that's it. So the question, what does everybody else do in a situation like that where you need battery-powered lights? What do? Do you get a car battery? You get a generator? You just use battery-powered LEDs like me? What do you do? What do you do? Anyway, that's all the questions this week. The show coming up this week is the $1 budget. It's a show that most people seem to like, so I'll be sharing some inexpensive filmmaking stuff that you can find for $1 or a little over $1. Nothing else is really going on right now to share. So anyway, this is thefrugalfilmmaker.com is where all the hub of all the material is. If you're looking for this kind of thing, that's a good place to start. It's my blog. There's also the Facebook group, which is really popular. There's a Twitter feed, and of course this YouTube channel. All those links are right down below the image here, right down there. You can find out where all those links are if you're interested. So anyway, I would like to just thank everybody for all your support, viewership, comments, questions, criticisms, everything that helps make it a little better. And there is a kind of a running theme of questions I've been getting also that I didn't bring in a specific question, but basically people asking me when I'm going to make more short films. And there are some coming because I'm in grad school right now, so those are a byproduct of being in school. It's harder for me to do stuff outside of school because I'm so busy doing homework, reading, watching movies, keeping this show up, family, all that stuff, just takes a lot of time. So hopefully there should be some more short form material coming up soon, because there was a lot of stuff I really want to try, but I just haven't been able to because of time. So anyway, so I'm fully aware of that, and being a filmmaker, I want to make films. I don't just want to talk about stuff, I actually want to do it, and all that's coming up, especially short films where everything that's used on the short is going to be stuff that I've built for the channel, which I'm really excited about to see, what can I do with the inexpensive stuff that I've constructed without augmenting it with any anything else. So I'm excited about doing that, but I just haven't been able to yet because of the crushing weight of life. Anyway, have a great week. Good luck making your movies if that's what you're doing. Hope so. And we'll see you next time we do this show, which is 1 week. And I'm trying not to end this in a conventional way after my big rant about conventions, but